guess, was the off season like for you, and what type of training did you put in?
I think this offseason was a lot different. Last year as a rookie, it was kind of difficult how to plan the offseason because, coming out of college, everything's so structured. So, just leaning on veterans, leaning on, the strength staff and certain guys to, how to train, how to, be a pro, and, what to do. So I focused on little things to make sure that my game was sharp when I got back. And I think that's carried on from OTAs and into the summer and into training camp as well.
What do you think just of the opportunity here? The wide receiver unit doesn't have a lot of established guys. You can kind of come in and make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the good thing about our room is that there's a lot of competition. So the competition raises the play in each and every player, and nobody really shies away from competition. And I think that's a great thing in the room when you have guys, fighting, scratching, clawing for a spot and an opportunity. They want to make the most of every play. And I know I've came in with the mindset and mentality every day to make the most of every day, make the most of every meeting, make the most of every opportunity that I get when I'm out there.
Sorry to bring it up, man, but the suspension last year, what did that do for you personally and professionally moving forward?
Yeah, I think most importantly, to just be a pro, it's one of those things where there's certain things you can put in your body, and you have to to know what those things are. Certain things you need clearance for, and that's something that I had to overcome and had to go through the hard way. But I'm looking forward, and I'm leaving the past in the past, and just looking to open a new chapter as far as this season and as far as the opportunity that waits ahead.
Where do you feel like? I know you discussed with Isaiah a little bit, things that you've been working on, but where do you feel like you've just night and day, leaps and bounds, grown
Yeah.
from last year to this year?
I think overall at the receiver position and feeling comfortable within the offense. Obviously, new offensive coordinator, but a lot of the terminology is the same. Growing in this offense, I challenged myself in the offseason to be available and be ready to play any position. So over OTAs, a lot of studying went into that as far as being available and being ready. If a guy goes down, I'm ready to go in at any position, either slot or outside. And I think with just the preparation that, like I said, it's just been one of those things where, going into my second year, it's a lot more comfortability, knowing what to expect and knowing how to, operate and move forward.
Where do you see the most tangible impact from that? Like whether it's your release game at the break point, where do you see that comfort and that confidence contribute to the physical aspects of your game?
Yeah, I think an important part of playing receiver is having a plan. Whether it's press release, whether it's off coverage, and how to manipulate the defense and the defender in each and every route. And I think that's a big stride that I took as far as diagnosing coverages and knowing how to move defenders, both in man coverage and, finding little soft spots in the zone within the concepts of the offense. And I think that's where I've taken my biggest stride and comfortability of just, trusting my training, trusting my technique, and trusting the coaching that I'm getting on a daily basis to where I can apply that from individual to team periods and on the field.
How does the defensive menu from Jeff Hafley help you in that regard? Since he's so much disguise, rotation.
Yeah.
How does that help you as a receiver to just kind of sharpen your tool belt?
Yeah, I think that's been really good. The defense just showing, different shells, different coverages. Those coverages may look a lot different on the snap rather than pre-snap. So I think that's been really good as far as, taking the next step in the game as far as learning coverages, diagnosing those, and seeing those. Because, it takes a little bit to know what's going on and to know what coverage is and, how to manipulate a defender. So seeing those coverages on a daily basis, when you get those out there on the field, it's easy to see with the bank reps you have.
Tracking a deep ball, I feel like is easier said than done. You've kind of caught a few in practices. What do you think makes you special in that regard when it comes to tracking those deep balls?
I think tracking starts with my background as a punt returner. Tracking the ball in the air and being able to track those deep balls when the ball's in the air. It's all about the flight of the ball. It's all about the spin of the ball, the nose of the ball, and those are things that I take from catching punts in my past and moving forward. And same thing as catching the deep ball.